What is going on, YouTube? Today we're going to be doing a review on Desoxyn. This is the name brand for methamphetamine. What I'm prescribed right here is the generic, and this is made by Maine Pharmaceuticals. The Hikma generic was recently added to CVS's order list within the last month or so. As we know, a lot of people always talk about Adderall being prescription meth, but there actually is such thing as prescription meth. This right here is dextroratory methamphetamine. What you can find over the counter in Vicks VapoRub is laboratory methamphetamine, which causes sinus decongestion as well as a non-psychostimulatory peripheral energy, where it makes your hands and feet cold. It's the negative part of methamphetamine. If you've seen Breaking Bad, they use the P2P method, which produces 50% laboratory methamphetamine and 50% dextroratory methamphetamine. This is the purest isomer. Now, there are only 800 patients nationally of this medication, and could be even less. The numbers are falling every year. Methamphetamine is actually used as a drug standard for the DEA to watch and monitor street drug use, and that's part of the reason why it's so scarce and hard to get. Now, me personally, I've tried every other ADHD medication on the planet. I've tried Adderall, Vyvanse, Ritalin, non-stimulants like Strattera, Sunosi, everything under the moon, Adzenys, every form of dexedrine patch, liquid. And this is really used for last case scenarios, which technically I would be. Now, interestingly enough, as being someone who's grown up as a child taking Adderall and various amphetamines, I would consider this Desoxyn to be more of a nootropic, something that almost quiets the mind and keeps you focused, as it should. Where Adderall and other generic amphetamines will really hype you up. If you have agitation, it can make it worse. It can make obsession worse and anxiety worse. In fact, regular Adderall would almost give me Tourette's-like symptoms, like tongue clicks or just blinking, and you would be noticeably tweaky. With this script of 5 milligrams methamphetamine once a day, I actually feel more clear-headed than I ever have. My lungs feel open, I feel open to conversation, and I don't feel depressed or stuck in my own head as I normally would be. There's only 3 indications of this medication nowadays, one being narcolepsy, the other weight loss, as it was originally invented, and still used off-label for ADHD. Now, the name brand Desoxyn is actually being brought back by, I believe, Key Pharmaceuticals, and the coupon card is actually up on the website, but there is still no furthering. There are subreddits based on this medication, and as I believe it is the most effective ADHD medicine, the name methamphetamine throws a lot of people off. In fact, sometimes when I asked if certain pharmacies stocked it, they would give me looks as if I was speaking alien or an entire different language. So it's not something that is easy to come across. Prescribers don't like the name and usually will turn you away unless you have a good, understanding doctor that recognizes its potential and its benefits over Adderall. As you can see, these are white pills. They're not scored on the back. They're completely blank. And on the other side, it says 115. So, very undifferentiable compared to other pills. Basically, like my oxycodone script looks like the same size, same shape pills. Most people's heart medicine is this size. There's nothing that differentiates this as saying, oh, this is methamphetamine, but it is. So when people say, oh, Adderall is like meth, well, there is actually prescribed methamphetamine. And I hear a lot of doctors, I hear a lot of pharmacists, and they will talk absolute bullshit. They don't know what they're speaking of. They don't even know the history of this medication. Pervitin was obviously used over the counter by Germany and the Nazi forces. And then, America bought the patent, or I guess you could say more stole it, as Nazi Germany also made methadone when their pain clinics and, pain medicine factories were being bombed. They had to switch over to methadone, which means pain relieving in German. So we actually carried this patent from Nazi Germany and still utilize this medication, as it was originally invented for wakefulness that is what we still use it for today. And now things like Ozempic and other GLP-1 inhibitors are hitting the market like an absolute storm. So the desire to phase out Desoxyn is even more so prominent. There's no reason to have this on the market in the eyes of the DEA, but it truly was remarkable when I took this medication and felt so much more cognitively clear and had none of the side effects from Adderall. I was truly blown away. And why they don't give this first to kids and instead make them take things that will make you vomit, feel suicidal, aggression towards yourself, why they would give people this shitty medicine and not try something that's more effective first blows my mind. I've seen so many people take non-stimulant ADHD medicine and have very stimulating effects, very violent effects, and it just tears up your brain and is psychologically not good for you. Methamphetamine does not have any effect on the metabolism, and it's truthfully, at this dose, could be considered a cognitive benefit. In fact, Desoxyn at 5 milligrams has been used after strokes to revive patients in a way where it helps the blood flow get to the certain parts of the brain that need to be recovered. And this is research you can see. I'm not making this up. This is no conspiracy. The only conspiracy is, why are there only 800 people on this? But there are 70 million Adderall prescriptions a year. And that's not even considering Ritalin and every other form. So if you really are struggling with ADHD, talk to your doctor about Desoxyn. Bring it up in a very scientific way. Come with pharmacological knowledge. And don't look like a tweaker. This is medicine that should not be mishandled. This is medicine that is under extreme watch by the DEA and puts you on a list above every other. This is not a joke, but at the same time, it is the most effective ADHD medication that I've come across. Talk to your doctor about Desoxyn. I am not a medical expert. I have just had over 20 years of doctors throwing stupid shit at me, and I finally have a good team of experts that are willing to hear me out and have my best interest in mind. And that is what a good doctor should do. Till next time.